The Way I Am by Ingrid Michaelson starts with the first finger, that's the index for bass players and guitar players, on the first fret of the fourth string. That makes an F note. It sounds like this. When we pick this note, we're going to let it ring for one beat, or a quarter note, and afterwards we're going to mute the string with our right hand finger. Now you can start it with either the I finger on the right hand, that's the index, or the M finger, that's the middle, but whichever you start it with, you want to mute the string with the opposite finger. So for example, if I use the I to start it, rest. I rest it with my M finger, preparing to pick it again. So since the first note lasts for one beat, we are going to say the word "and" after saying the note name F, and that basically acts as a placeholder for the second half of the beat, like this. Ready, and F and rest. And the reason why we want to have a placeholder for the second half of the first beat is because the rest that comes directly afterwards is only a half beat long. It's an eighth rest. That's a half beat long in common time, which this song is in common time, 4/4 time. So far we have ready and F and rest. Then we're going to pick that F again, but this time when we pick it, we're actually going to allow it to ring for 1.5 beats. So that would be a dotted quarter note if you were reading it. And for that, we are going to have yet another placeholder syllable after the F, and we're going to say 2 on that one. So that'll sound like this. F and 2. So let's try from the beginning. Ready, and F and rest. F and 2, rest, and. So after the second F, we let it hang for 1.5 beats, and then we rest again, but this time we rest for an entire beat. So we do what's known as a quarter rest. At that point, we have accumulated 4 beats, and we've played through one measure. The rhythm repeats on the next note and the next note after that. So you have the same rhythm for your notes for the first 3 measures. So I'm going to play all of measure 1 now, just on the F. So ready, and F and rest. F and 2, rest, and. Good job. Now at this point, we're going to bring that index finger over one string. So now it's on the first fret of the third string. It sounds like that. Makes a B flat note. And we're going to play the same rhythm that we just played on the F on this new note, B flat. That'll sound like this. Ready, and B flat and rest. B flat and 2, rest, and. Nice job. We'll come back now to the F to restart from the beginning so that we can try to put those 2 parts together, the first and second measure. I'll give you a 4 count this time to start. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. F and rest. F and 2, rest. And B flat, B flat, B flat and 2, rest. And. Nice job. Just for practice's sake, we'll go back and do it one more time. This time again, a 4 count for you to start. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go now. F and rest. F and 2, rest. And B flat and rest. B flat and 2, rest. And. Nice job. Now, we're going to play a D next. There's 2 different ways you can play the D in this song. You can play it as the open D string, which is your second string open, or you can fret the 5th fret on the 3rd string. That also gives you a D. In this video, I'm going to be playing it on the 5th fret here, and I'm going to use my pinky up here. Big curve in the pinky will help you to develop the muscle in the side of your hand that controls the pinky. Notice how my finger's coming straight up out of the bass neck, as though the last segment of it were a telephone pole coming right out of the ground straight up. So same rhythm on this note D, so that'll sound like this. Ready, and D and rest, D and 2, rest, and. So at this point we can play the first 3 measures of the song. Let's start from the beginning here on the 1st fret of the 4th string. I'll give you a 4 count to begin again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. F and rest, F and 2, rest, and B flat and rest, B flat and 2, rest, and up to the D. D and rest, D and 2, rest, and. Nice job. It can be a little tricky to get your pinky up to the D and get it in the right position in the amount of time of a quarter rest. So we'll do it one more time, and I'll go a little bit slower for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. F and rest, F and 2, rest, and B flat and rest, B flat and 2, rest, and D and rest, D and 2, rest, and. Nice job. At this point we're going to go over the next measure, the 4th measure. This is the final measure before we repeat the part. We go to the 3rd fret on the same string, the 3rd string. Makes a C note, sounds like that. You can use your 2nd finger. If you like, you can also use your 1st finger if you prefer. That makes it easier for you to go from the D to the C. For this video, I'm going to be using the 2nd finger. However, when we play this C note, the rhythm is slightly different. Rather than resting on the last beat of the measure, we substitute the rest with a low E. That's your 4th string open, which sounds like that. So from the C, it'll sound something like this. Ready, and C and rest, C and 2, E and. Nice job. That brings us to the repeat. So after we play that E, we go right back to our F. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and play the entire part, and I'm going to repeat it. So it's a good idea for you to try and play along. If you need to pause the video at this point to review any part of it, that's a good idea, because we're going to play it and then we're going to speed it up. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F and rest, F and 2, rest, and B flat and rest, B flat and 2, rest, and D and rest, D and 2, rest, and C and rest, C and 2,